So can you kind of define a sprint in like the beginning, the middle, the end, and like the whole process, and why the sprint mentality and strategy is so effective and useful?
Sure. So there's a couple pieces to that. So the way that the sprint helps is that it's not a cost that runs every month to no end. Sometimes if you work with the wrong agency, it could be 5 or 6 months in and you realize, okay, well, we weren't actually seeing the results here.
Right.
We just kind of kept kicking the can down the road. So a sprint really gives you like the beginning, middle, and end in a 2-week period or a 4-week period, however you want to think about it. So the 5 components of the sprint, the way that, I always, structure my campaigns, are, goals that are clearly defined that you can see within that 2-week period. So you don't want to set a goal of, we want to be number 1 in the market, because that's not really achievable.
Everyone wants to be number 1.
You want to break it down into smaller and smaller units so that we can see, the effectiveness of the campaign. We can see some data around it, feel good, and feel, positive about increasing that investment over time. So you want to definitely identify the goals. You want to have a target in mind. So, if there's limited time, obviously, and a limited budget associated with that sprint, let's focus that on a specific target. We want to, target, I don't know, new parents, in the market. And we have a solution that's for them. Let's clearly define that. The third one is the message. So this is great because you don't build a message that you're then tied to for 6 months or a year. Let's take 2 weeks and figure out, okay, are people responding to this? This is how we think about it on our end, but who knows what the buyer's thinking. So is this message going to be effective? The fourth is the budget. The way that the budget really plays well with the sprint is that the budget is capped. So it's not this idea of okay, well, this is going to cost us, X thousand a month, or, we're going to, give this, we're going to Google our credit card and, who knows what's going to happen. You're clearly defining in the sprint format, okay, we're going to spend $500 in this 2-week period. Here's what we want to see. Here's who we want to target. Here's our message. And then the 5th piece is the channel. Do we want to use Google? Do we want to use Facebook? Do we want to, get in something in print?
Right.
Podcast,
influencer.
Exactly. And then the other benefit to utilizing sprints, in sequence is that you can compare channels and activities to each other. Everything's on an even playing field. So you do a podcast this week, you do some Google ads next week, and then you do maybe some print stuff, 3 weeks from now. You can compare results.
I love that, because I feel so many times people are hesitant to make a long-term decision, right? Oh, if I'm signed with an agency, it's 6 months or what have you, or if I put all this, I'm going to have to spend $20,000 or $10,000, or what if it doesn't work? And that's the whole concept of the sprints, is so they can try something out at low cost and low risk, and then see what is working, or if it doesn't work. And no matter if something's a big failure, they don't make one sale, there's always something, I always say, to learn from and to take from it. Okay, so nobody purchased a widget. Maybe we were targeting ages 45 to 65. Maybe let's try it with 25 to 45, right now, right? So there's always little tweaks and things to learn. And I feel the 2-week touch, just kind of alleviates some of that overwhelm that a lot of owners can experience or worry about when it comes to marketing.
That's an excellent point. And I think, 2 notes on that are, when you use sprints, the data and the insights pile up over time.
That's so true.
So rather than doing a 3-month campaign, in 3 months, you can have, see if my math is right, you can have 6 2-week sprints in that 3 months. So by that 6th sprint, you have all the previous data from the previous 5. So that's a really, really nice benefit from utilizing that.